everyone for being with us. Clisman Marathi, let me start with you. Let's start with those comments that President Trump made about Europe in that virtual address to the World Economic Forum. It was very threatening. He threatened Europe with tariffs if they don't move manufacturing to the United States. Either come here or face tariffs. That was his message. He also said that the United States, in his view, was being unfairly treated by the European Union. So what's ahead?
That's the million-dollar question. I think there's two push and pull factors as it relates to the US and the EU relationship. The positive, I suppose, is that Europe is in desperate need of a stable and secure partner for its energy security, and the US is more than willing to supply LNG to Europe over the tenure of Donald Trump's presidency. And also given the fact that Donald Trump has also reduced the barriers and reduced the regulations and has reduced the sort of stranglehold on the LNG sector and the energy sector in general in America, I think this excess export supply that the US will give to Europe is a good thing. However, on the other side, Trump is putting a lot of pressure on European countries through NATO to increase their spend on defense, and also is pressuring them to do other things, which is not going to allow them to act in a very independent way, which they were used to, at least with their economic policy, which is going to have a negative ramifications, I think, at least on the EU economy as a whole, given how close the relationship is between these two big trading partners.
Right, and Clisman, as far as Europe's energy challenges are concerned, to what extent would that be addressed by an end to the conflict in Ukraine? President Trump did talk about that briefly in that address, but could that ease concerns in Europe once perhaps there is a resumption of imports from Russia?
No, I don't think it's in Europe's agenda or near, mid, or long term to resume its energy partnership with Russia, especially given the fact that Trump wants to export more energy supply, and he also wants to reverse the trade deficit that the US has with the EU. So let's say a scenario where Putin has a deal with the Ukrainians. That doesn't mean that Europe's energy, security needs are going to be solved overnight, because Europe has staunchly made many statements and has acted in a way which says that even if a deal were to come to the table, Russia still needs to be punished for their actions, and Russia is going to change its approach to Europe as well, and it won't go back to business as usual, given the political rhetoric against President Putin that EU leaders have put out there into the world. So Europe will continue to need secure energy that will come in the form of LNG from Qatar, lesser extent Australia, much lesser extent, and then to a much fuller extent the United States.
Okay.